With the 34th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Cam Robinson, tackle, Alabama.
Well, to the point that you guys were talking about, right now the first two picks of the second round are players that could have easily been taken in the first round. Cam Robinson would have been one of those players, two-time first-team All-SEC pick, consensus All-American as a junior last season. In 2016 became the fourth Alabama player to take home the Outland Trophy, which goes to the nation's top interior lineman. And now he's the sixth, there have been 5 Alabama offensive linemen that have been first-round picks. He is now in the second round, but he joins a long list of outstanding players on that offensive line from Alabama. Of course, had the issues this past summer where he was arrested with a teammate, charged with possession of marijuana and a firearm. One of those firearms turned out to be allegedly stolen, but again, those charges were eventually dropped. Insufficient evidence, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Cam Robinson dropped into the second round. But Mel, you alluded to it earlier, one of the reasons they're trying to get things going for Leonard Fournette is they got Cam Robinson there.
He is a mauler, and I think that's what Tom Coughlin wants. You draft Leonard Fournette, you need a strong, experienced run blocker. When his technique is sound, he is dynamic. He's had some minor injury issues the last 2 years, but Cam Robinson will help that Jaguar offensive line.
With the 49th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Ryan Anderson, linebacker, Alabama.
All right, so Ryan Anderson goes. That's 2 Alabama players, by the way, for Washington, picking up Jonathan Allen in the first round. We'll discuss Washington in a minute. In the middle, the Giants are on the clock, hence the boos.
To announce the New York Giants selection, please welcome from South Carolina State University, 2006 Hall of Fame inductee, linebacker Harry Carson.
With the 55th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Dalvin Tomlinson, defensive tackle, University of Alabama.
And yet another Alabama defensive player is off the board. And this is a really unusual guy. He boasted a near 4.0 GPA while taking AP classes in high school. He got an offer from Harvard. When you have a player that can choose between Harvard and Alabama, this is an interesting guy.
Look, I'll tell you what, this guy is an absolute stud, and he's exactly what they need. Now that they lost Jonathan Hankins, they need someone else to go back with Damon Harrison on this defensive line, because when those two were together last year, this defense in New York could stop the run as well as anyone. This kid can line up as 0 technique on the nose. He could be a 1 technique shake the nose. He can be a 3 technique playing outside the guard. He can play in a 4-3 and a 3-4. He plays with a low center of gravity, very heavy hands. When he puts his hands on offensive linemen, he controls them and he keeps his shoulders square. He doesn't get turned. He doesn't create gaps in the run front. He is solid, and he's been coached the right way at a program that teaches them as well as anyone, and he will hustle and run to the rock. He's a perfect fit for what they needed. He will solidify this defensive line.
Well, he's a true Renaissance man. Plays both the saxophone and the trumpet, and is an artist specializing in cartoons of Japanese anime. This guy does a little bit of everything. The Giants get a tight end that's not a tight end, and they get a defensive tackle who can do almost everything. Happy times for Dalvin Tomlinson. Happy times here in Philadelphia as we continue to work our way through round 2 of the 2017 draft. Day 2 of the NFL draft here in beautiful downtown Philadelphia.
With the 78th pick in the 2017 NFL draft, the newest member of the Baltimore Ravens family, the Ravens select Tim Williams, linebacker, Alabama.
Well, another defensive player for Nick Saban coming off the board. And Tim Williams, no doubt, flashed on the field, but he has some baggage. He admitted at the combine to failing drug tests at Alabama. He said, yeah, I failed a few of them. September 29th, he was arrested in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for carrying a pistol without a permit. He was then suspended for the first half of the Kentucky game because of that arrest. Mel, he didn't start a lot of games. Boy, he made a lot of finishing plays.
Point him in the direction of the quarterback, and that's what the Ravens will want him to do. This is an organization that's had guys like Peter Boulware, Elvis Dumerville, Terrell Suggs. Now they got to get young. Matt Judon showed ability with what Kamalei Craig can do.
Right.
Look at him getting after the quarterback. Number 56 looked like a top 10 pick going into the year. Then, obviously, here we go in the third round, Todd, because of issues away from football. But you can say he's one-dimensional all you want. What's this league about?
It's a good dimension.
Quarterback.
Yeah,
exactly.
He is twitched up and sudden. He explodes off the line. He stays low. He can bend the edge, flatten out his rush, get to the quarterback. He is a pass rush specialist who excels, Lewis, when his lone job is to get going after the quarterback.
Look, between him and Tyus Bowser, you have two of the best 3-4 outside linebacker profiles in this draft coming out. And the Ravens know that they need to get younger. You know, Ozzie Newsome has a pipeline to Nick Saban and get all the information down there so he can help a kid like this, make sure that he stays on the straight and narrow and stays on the football field. So between him, Chris Wormley now, look, they draft Marlon Humphrey, another Alabama guy. You know Ozzie Newsome, again, tapping into that Alabama connection. He knows what he's getting. He knows what he needs to provide for these guys to stay on the football field. They need to rebuild this defense, and they're well on their way to doing it.
He's a big play specialist. 52% of his tackles were behind the line of scrimmage.
Look, pretty good month and a half for him. That's his daughter, Zara, was born on March 16th. And now 6 weeks later, he finally hears his name called as Baltimore is all in on getting to the quarterback in this year's draft. The next pick is in. It's the Colts. Let's listen.
To announce the New York Jets selection, please welcome from Auburn University, fullback Tony Richardson.
With the 79th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Ardarius Stewart, receiver, Alabama.
Oh, Tony, you were so close.
Just land that
S. Just need to stick the landing on the S, and it would have been so much more effective. Speaking of effective, Ardarius Stewart.
I'll tell you what, he had a heck of a year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Saban, he had to be one of Nick's favorites because he did it all. Talk about size, he's got it, nearly 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. He's a really good player. His ball skills, outstanding. Great after the catch, highly competitive. He had a drop in the Auburn game. That's the only one I saw in the 7 games I watched on tape. Effective on end arounds, willing blocker. Even showed the ability to throw the football for a touchdown. And he's only, right now, just touched the surface of what he can be. He's just coming into his own. There you go, end arounds. He's very effective. Like I said, the ability after the catch. You see it here. This kid has the desire and the willingness and the work ethic, Todd, to make himself a player that keeps improving and getting better.
Yeah, I think early on he's a sub-package receiver who could develop into a good number 2. The other thing with him is, I really like, he has a lot of experience returning and covering kicks.
Look, this is 10.7 yak yards per reception for this kid. That's among the best in the nation. He gets the ball in his hands, he's going to make plays. You talk about the Jets needing to have people who can score.
Absolutely.
Just put the ball in his hands. He'll score it.